Okay, so I am Mr. Chris. I am a business and a geography teacher, and I thought it wise to take a complete program for the IGCSE geography, which every day I will be bringing you a video that will encourage you. Maybe somebody want to write, somebody registered for IGCSE geography. So I will take the complete program. And I'm going to show you how to approach questions, how to master definitions, how to approach case studies when it comes to the IGCSE geography. Okay. Normally, the program for IGCSE geography is divided into three. Okay, you understand me? It's divided into three. The first part of it is population and settlement. Under population and settlement, we have population dynamics, we have migration, we have population structure, population density and distribution, settlement and service provision, urban settlement and urbanization. So that is the first part of the program for IGCSE geography. Then the second part we have the earthquake and volcanoes. Under earthquake and volcanoes we have the rivers, the coast, weather, climate and natural vegetation. Then the last part of it is development, food production, industry, tourism, energy and water. So these are the three areas where you need to tackle in order for you to get a complete idea or knowledge on how to go for the IGCSE for geography. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first part, which is the population settlement. When I'm done with it, I'm going to bring you lessons for the earthquake and volcanoes, and also I'll bring you lessons for development. So it will help you. I'm going to make it very easy, very understandable, where you're not going to find difficulties in understanding the lessons. So you follow it step by step. Now, geography is a social science, so most of the things you're going to see or you're going to listen in the lessons are some things you can see in your environment. Okay. So, for according to the program, we are going to start with population and settlement. Now, under population and settlement, the first subtopic under it is population dynamics. Okay. Under population dynamics, what do you need to know? You need to understand the definition of population. That is the definition of population. You need to understand the components of population. You need to understand population changes. You need to understand causes of population changes. Then you also need to know the classification of population in different countries, the disadvantages and benefits of those classifications. You are supposed to know population growth rate, causes of population growth rate, natural growth rate. Then you are supposed to know the factors affecting fertility rate, mobility rate, population policies. So these are the things you're supposed to know. Now these definitions they are interrelated. It means when you know one, you obviously know the other one. So I'm going to be taking it gradually, step by step, as you follow me. This is how you're going to be doing it every day. Now, for the definition of population, what is population? Population is the total number of people living or that exist in a particular society or country in a particular year. Population is the total number of people living in a particular country in a particular year. You can say in a particular period of time. Now, when you approach a question and ask what is population, when you use the statement, it is the total number of people, you already have a map, because the IGCSE, your voluminous answer doesn't matter. What matters is the statement they want you to put in your definition. So it is the total number of people living in a particular country or in a particular society in a particular period of time. It is usually 1 year. That's how it is measured. So now, if population is the total number of people living in a particular country, what are the components of this population? What are the factors that makes this population a reality? There are two components. That is the birth rate and the death rate. The birth rate and the death rate. What is birth rate? Birth rate is the total number of live birth per year. The total number of kids, those who came to life for a particular period of time. Now, in geography, it is calculated per 1,000. So you can easily hear they will say birth rate is the total number of live birth per 1,000 over a particular period of time. So if birth rate is the total number of live birth Then what is death rate? I think you should be able to know that death rate is the total number of deaths recorded in a particular period of time per thousand. Now, in the IGCSE, you always see when they ask you what is death rate. After that, what you see next is calculate death rate. Now, the calculation is usually in a percentage. They will give you an extract or a case study that has the values of total population of a particular country, for example, Britain, and then they will give you for a particular year the value of birth rate, the value of death rate. Then, for example, they may ask you calculate birth rate for that year. What do? You take the value of birth rate, stroke it all over the total population of that country, you times it times 1,000 over 1 because it's calculated per thousand. Okay? So you calculate the birth rate, stroke it over the death rate times 1,000 over 1, you get the value for the birth rate for that country. The same as death rate. Death rate you also need to put dr all over tp times 1,000 over 1. dr stands for death rate. TP stands for total population. All over 1,000 all over 1. So now you know the definition of population. You know the component, which is the birth rate and the death rate, and you know the formula, you know the calculation. This is how it works. Now, what is the next thing you need to know? Is population changes. Why do population change? Because every day, every minute, every time, new people, new kids comes to life. They come to life, and some people also pass. So the population is bound to change anytime, any minute, any second, any hour. Okay? But for population changes, it is calculated annually. So what is population change? Population change is the change of the total number of people living in a particular country for a particular period of time, maybe 1 year. Population change is the change of the total number of people. For example, maybe last year it was 6 million. Okay? And this year it is 7 million. The population, the number of people have changed. The number of people have changed from 6 million to 7 million. It means there is what they call natural increase. So if it was 6 million and now it is 5 million, it means there is natural increase. So this system explains what is called the change in population. Okay? Now the word defines itself. Now what are the factors? What are the reasons why population changes? Why do population change? There are 3 reasons why population changes: the birth rate, the death rate, and the migration. Again, causes of population changes are 3: the birth rate, the death rate, and migration. These are the causes of population changes. Now, when the birth rate is higher than the death rate, it means there is natural increase in the population. When the death rate is higher than the birth rate, it means it is a natural decrease in the population. Okay, so as you said, population changes are the change in the total number of people living in a particular country in a particular year, and it is caused by 3 factors. That is the birth rate, the death rate, and migration. And you know, migration is the movement of people from one country to the other. Okay, those who leave the country are called immigrants, like this. Immigrants, and those who come to the country are called immigrants. Okay, so if those who left the country are more than those who came into the country, it means the population will fall. There will be a decrease. But if those who came to the country are more than those who left the country, it means the number of people living in that country will increase, like in the case of Libya. The Libyans outside, or the foreigners who came into Libya are more than the Libyan outside. So it obviously means that the Libyan population is bound to increase, because Libya has more immigrants than more immigrants. Okay, so classification of population. I hope you understand me. Do you understand me, right? Can I continue? Okay. Classification of population. How does it work? Classification of population is the different categories that population are classified for different countries. In geography, there used to be something like this, something like a pyramid that explains the different categories of population. So under this category, there are three. You have underpopulation, overpopulation, and optimum population. So what is underpopulation? Underpopulation is a situation where the number of people living in a particular country is less than the resources of that country. It means the resources of that country is more than the people living in a particular country. The resources are more than the people living in that country. So if underpopulation is the resources being more than the population, what is overpopulation? Overpopulation is a situation where the number of people living in that country are more than what the resources can take care of them. An example of an overpopulated country in Africa is Nigeria. Okay? In Nigeria, the resources, the people, the population is more than the resources. There are resources in Nigeria, but the population is more than the resources. And it is estimated that by 2030, Nigeria will be close to 350 million. Presently, Nigeria has a population of 200 million people. Then, an example of another populated country is Canada. Okay? An example of another populated country is Canada. And optimal population is the balance between overpopulation and underpopulation. It means it's a country where the number of people living in it are equal to the resources of that country. For example, Finland. These are countries where there is equal distribution of resources. Everybody has equal share. It is equal to the citizens. So what we need to look at, we need to look at the features, the disadvantages of this different classification of population. Let's start with overpopulation. What are the problems that faces a country that has overpopulation? Number one, there will be high crime rate. Because people don't have access to food, people are living below poverty line, they will be bound to do certain things in order for them to meet up with life. Do you understand me? So, an overpopulated country is bound to face a very high crime rate. Number two, pollution. Overpopulated countries usually face pollution, air pollution, noise pollution. Underpopulated countries also face congestion. Too many people, too many things shoot together. Overpopulated country also faces high unemployment rate. There are no jobs. Even if there are jobs, people who need the job are more than the available jobs. Remember, unemployment is a situation where those who are eligible, who are ready, who are willing to work, doesn't find work. So people are ready, who are eligible, people are qualified to work, but they don't get jobs. Why? Because there are no available jobs. So there is high rate of unemployment. So there is high crime rate, congestion, pollution, high unemployment rate. Then there will also be unavailability of basic necessities. Citizens of that country will not have access to basic necessities. Citizens of that country will not have access to good health care. They will not have access to educational facilities. Okay? So these are the problems caused by overpopulated countries. There will be no good medical care, no good medical facilities, no educational facilities. There will be high crime rate, there will be pollution, there will be congestion, there will be unemployment. So these are the problems of overpopulated countries. If, for example, now in the IGCSE, you see a question. Now, what happens with geography is, if you can understand the definition, then you obviously know what is required. If you see in the IGCSE, they ask you, what is overpopulation? And you say overpopulation is a situation where the number of people living in that country are more than the resources of that country. Then if they ask you, what are the problems? What are the futures? What are the disadvantages of overpopulated countries? If the people are more than the resources, then you should be able to know that that country will obviously face high unemployment rate. That country will obviously face high crime rate. That country will obviously face congestion. Will obviously face pollution. Will obviously face scarcity of food or of basic necessities. Remember, there's a difference between scarcity and shortage. In economics, shortage is a very temporary situation, while scarcity is a very permanent situation. Scarcity is the permanent absence of particular facilities or products in the market, while shortage is the temporary absence of those products in the market. But in the situation of a populated country, so particular products, especially food, will be scarce. Many people will go hungry. You can also say about populated countries, there is high malnutrition, there is high rate of starvation, hunger. So when you reason, when you think from the definition, you can get many points to write. And most of the time, this question in the IGCSE, they give you 4 marks, 6 marks. They ask you to explain. To explain the reasons or to explain the disadvantages of populated countries. Once you state pollution, you say this is because people are many in the country, and so there will be bound to be noise pollution, there will be bound to be air pollution, water pollution, and the rest. So it's very easy for you to meet up. So if you can be able to explain overpopulation, it means you obviously understand how to explain underpopulation. Now, if the resources are more than the citizens living in that country, what can be the problems? Number one, there will be under-exploitation of natural resources. Why? Because there will be a fall in the supply for labor. These are 2 points. Do you understand? Do you understand me? So if the resources are more than the people, there will be under-exploitation of resources. Why? Because there will not be enough people to work to exploit the resources of that country. So there will be a shortage or there will be a fall in the supply for labor. And if there is a fall in the supply for labor, what happens next? There will be a fall in production. Do you see how you link the points? If there's a fall in production, what happens next? It means there will be a fall in export. Those are 4 points. You have just linked, you have reason along. If there's a fall in export, what happens next? It means there will be a fall in the demand or the purchasing power of that country. That's 5 points. There will be fewer taxpayers. The rate of tax per person will be high because the people are few. The population is small. These are 6 points. You have just given them. Very simple. And most of the times, these are marks that are given away for free. Maybe 4 or 5 or 6 marks. They ask you what is underpopulation. Give 2 or 3 advantages or disadvantages or problems or demerits. They will look for one English language word to use. So if you can understand one, you will understand the second one. If you can understand the second one, you can understand the third one. So it's very easy. Okay? Then optimal population, they said, is when there is equal distribution of resources. That means the population or the number of people living in that country are equal to the resources. What will happen? It means there will obviously be a very high standard of living. There will be availability of basic necessities. There will be good health facilities. There will be availability of medical facilities. There will be availability of infrastructures. There will be good roads. There will be good bridges. There will be good schools. There will be good hospitals. Why? Because the resources are equally distributed. The resources are equal to the number of people. There will be high per capita income. So these are our 6 or 7 points you just reason from your mind. Even without taking more time, these are questions you can use 2 minutes to explain, to answer them, and you get the marks for free. Why? Because when you understand the definition, when you understand what is needed, you understand the rest part of it. So if the resources are equal to the population, what can happen? It means there will be high standard of living. Everybody will live well. There will be food security. Do you understand me? So this is how population is classified. Okay, now what is the next? Population growth rate. What is population growth rate? Population growth rate is the average annual changes of the number of people living in a particular country for a particular year. Population growth rate is the average annual change of the total number of people living in a particular country for a particular year. Or, if you don't want to say, you can say population growth rate is the average annual increase of the total number of people living in a particular year, because the word growth is the. If the total number of people living in a particular country increases or experiences growth, what can be the cause? What can be the cause? The cause, number one, there will be increase in birth rate. Why? Because I said before, when the total number of live births are more than death, it means that country will experience natural growth rate. Okay? So if a particular country was 6 million in 2022, and in 2023, 400 kids were born and 250 people died, they asked you to calculate the population growth rate. What do you do? When you calculate the birth rate will be 400 all over 6 million. 6 million times 1,000 all over 1, so it will be this cancels this, this cancels this, this cancels this, this cancels this, 3, 2, so it will be 4 all over 60, or 4 goes here 1, 4 goes here 20, that is 15, so it's 15%. Okay? Then, for death rate, if it is 250, it means it's going to be 9%. So there is a natural increase of 6% for that country. Why? Because the birth rate is more than the death rate. Okay. What are the causes of increase of birth rate? What can cause birth rate to increase? Number one, increase in fertility rate. What is fertility rate? Fertility rate is the total number of kids that a woman is supposed to give birth to during her lifetime. It varies from country to some countries have the ability to give birth to 15. As long as she's alive and she is childbearing, she's willing to give birth to children, she will give birth to 15. So fertility growth rate is the total number of children that women or a woman is allowed or is give birth to during her lifetime. So if this is available, it means there will be increase in birth rate. Number two, lack of family planning. You know, this one is very normal, especially in less developed countries. Especially in less developed countries, there is no family planning. What is family planning? Family planning is a system used to control the number of children given birth to for a particular family. So there is no plan. You just give birth. In Europe or in Western world, the countries use some policies to control the number of children or number of kids that a family is supposed to give birth to. Okay? But in the less developed countries, there is nothing like that. There is no family planning, there is no government policies, there is nothing. So women just give birth to children as they like. So if there is no family planning, women will give birth to as many as they can. Number three, religious reasons. There are some religions that support many children, give birth to many children. And there are religions that support give birth to as many children as you can. Then we have early marriages. In some countries, before the age of, let me say at the age of 15, like a country like in Niger, This case study explains the marital lifespan of countries like Niger. In Niger, 15 years you are good to go for marriage. So you see, if at the age of 15 you are going for marriage, it means before the age of 45 you are liable to give birth to about 10 children. But if the age of marriage is maybe 25, maybe 30, it's impossible for you to give birth to 10 children. So early marriage is also a determinant of natural growth rate. Then you also have increase in women's second child. You know, it's one thing for a woman to give birth, it's one thing, it's another thing for the child to survive. So as long as the children keep surviving, the natural growth rate is bound to occur. That means 10 women give birth to children and all the 10 children survive, no one dies. It is bound to increase. Okay. So, natural growth rate. Natural growth rate, like I've said, is the difference between the birth rate and the death rate. If the birth rate is more than the death rate, then the population of that country has increased naturally. So, what are the factors affecting the fertility rate? Now, I said fertility rate is the total number of kids that a woman is bound to give birth to during her lifetime, during when she's alive. But there are factors that can affect it, that can make it not to work. That can make the woman, if she was supposed to give birth to 10 children, she would give birth to 2. What are those factors? Number one, the factors are